Imagine this. You're a father who's poured your heart, soul, and a small fortune into your son's wedding, only to get a call that shatters everything. Dad, you're not walking me down the aisle. Lauren's dad is doing it. He's been more of a father to me these last few years. Anyway, those words hit like a freight train, don't they? But what if, instead of crumbling, you turn the tables in the most epic way possible? Welcome to a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and the sweetest revenge served ice cold on a balcony in Lisbon. If you've ever felt taken for granted by the people you love most, this one's going to hit home hard. Stick around because by the end, you'll be cheering for justice like never before. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into real life revenge stories from Reddit that leave you feeling that rush of satisfaction. I'm your host, and today we're unpacking a tale that's equal parts gut-wrenching and gloriously triumphant. It's called The Wedding That Wasn't Mine, and trust me, it's the kind of story that reminds you why standing up for yourself can be the best decision you ever make. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more stories like this. And if you've got your own revenge tale, drop it in the comments below. We might feature it next. All right, let's get into it. Picture a quiet Thursday evening in a suburban home, the kind with a neatly trimmed lawn and a garage full of tools from weekend projects long forgotten. Our protagonist, let's call him Greg for the story's sake, is winding down after a long day at work. He's in his mid-50s, the type of guy who's always been the reliable one, the one who shows up for every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference. Even after the divorce split the family in two, he's got that salt and pepper hair, a steady job in engineering, and a heart that's bigger than his bank account. Though lately, that account's been taking a hit. Greg's son, Alex, is 26 now, engaged to Lauren, a girl from a well-to-do family. The engagement happened about a year ago, and Greg didn't hesitate to step up. You see, even though the divorce was messy, his ex-wife, Sarah, remarried quickly to a guy named Mark, who came with his own set of kids and a flashy lifestyle. Greg made sure to stay involved. He paid child support without fail, attended birthdays, and when Alex proposed to Lauren, Greg was the first to offer help with the wedding. "Whatever you need, son," he said, and he meant it. Fast forward to that fateful Thursday. Greg's phone buzzes at exactly 7:14 p.m. He's in the kitchen, maybe stirring a pot of pasta, thinking about the weekend ahead. He picks up, and it's Alex on the line. His voice steady but laced with that awkward tension you feel when delivering bad news. "Dad, listen, we've made a decision about the wedding," Alex says. "You're not walking me down the aisle. Lauren's dad is going to do it. He's been more of a father to me these last few years anyway. We already told the planner. Just don't make a scene, okay?" The words hang in the air, like smoke from a fire that's just been lit. Greg feels his stomach drop, a cold wave washing over him. He mumbles something like, "Okay, son," and the call ends. He stands there for a moment, the phone still in his hand, the pasta bubbling over on the stove unnoticed. Then he wanders out to the garage, flips off the lights, and sits in the dark, replaying the voicemail Alex left right after, because, yeah, Alex followed up with a message to make sure it stuck. He listens to it 3 times. Each playback digs the knife deeper. "He's been more of a father to me." Greg thinks back to the years of quiet sacrifices, the late night drives to pick Alex up from parties, the college tuition he chipped in for, the advice given over countless phone calls. And now this, replaced by Lauren's dad, a man Greg's met maybe twice, someone who swooped in with his country club membership and weekend golf outings. But let's back up a bit to really understand the setup. Greg and Sarah divorced when Alex was 10. It wasn't amicable. Sarah accused Greg of being too focused on work, too emotionally distant. Greg didn't fight it. He just wanted what was best for Alex. Sarah married Mark a year later, and Mark became the fun stepdad, the one who took Alex on ski trips and bought him his first car. Greg, he was the steady presence, the one paying the bills behind the scenes. Over the years, Alex drifted closer to Mark's world, especially after college when he started working in finance, rubbing shoulders with Lauren's upscale crowd. When the engagement happened, Greg saw it as a chance to reconnect. He offered to cover a big chunk of the wedding costs, no questions asked. 60%, to be exact. That's the open bar with top-shelf liquor. A plated dinner for 180 guests featuring filet mignon and lobster tails. A stunning venue overlooking the harbor where the sunset would paint the sky in oranges and pinks. He paid for the string quartet to play during the ceremony. The alterations on Lauren's designer dress. Even the deposit on a honeymoon in Santorini, crystal blue waters. Whitewashed villas, the works. Total so far, $41,800. And he was still writing checks. Lauren's family contributed too, but it was Greg who handled the logistics. Logging into vendor portals, confirming details, making sure everything was perfect. He imagined that walk down the aisle, arm in arm with his son. A moment of pride after all these years. It was supposed to be his role, his honor. But now, sitting in that dark garage, the betrayal sinks in. It's not just about the aisle, it's the dismissal. That he's been more of a father. Greg's hands tremble as he pulls up the vendor portal on his phone. His mind races. Why should he fund a celebration where he's sidelined? Where he's essentially told he's not family enough? He scrolls through the contracts. The venue. Full refund if canceled 90 days out. And they're at 92. The caterer. 75% back within 60 days. The travel agent. Honeymoon deposit non-refundable, but convertible to a personal credit. Florist. Photographer. DJ. Lighting. He starts clicking cancel on everything he'd booked and paid for himself. It's methodical, almost therapeutic. Each confirmation email pings in, and with it, a sliver of control returns. By the time he's done, he's reclaimed most of his investment. The next morning, he transfers the remaining wedding fund, $18,200, into a high-yield savings account in his name only. No more joint access, no more easy withdrawals. 72 hours pass in a blur. Greg goes about his days at work, but inside, he's steeling himself. Then the group chat lights up like fireworks on the 4th of July. First, Lauren's mother. This is unbelievable. How could you do this to your own son? Her words drip with accusation, as if Greg's the villain for pulling the plug on his own generosity. Then his ex-wife, Sarah. You're punishing him because your feelings are hurt? Real mature Greg. Oh, the irony. Coming from the woman who moved on so quickly, leaving Greg to pick up the emotional pieces. Alex chimes in with 19 voice messages. Greg listens to the first 4. Please, anger, confusion. Dad, what the hell? We can't afford to rebook everything. This is our day. The entitlement in his voice seals it for Greg. He deletes the rest without a second thought. As the days turn into weeks, the fallout intensifies. Lauren's family scrambles, trying to salvage the wedding on a shoestring budget. Alex calls repeatedly, but Greg lets it go to voicemail. He's done being the ATM, the silent supporter. For the first time, he's choosing himself. Now, let's build on that tension. The build-up starts with flashbacks to smaller slights over the years. Remember when Alex forgot Father's Day 2 years in a row, but always posted glowing tributes to Mark on social media? Or the time Greg offered to help with Alex's first apartment deposit, only for Alex to say, nah, Mark's got it covered. Each memory stacks like bricks, building a wall of resentment. Greg didn't even know was there until that phone call cracked it open. The breaking point? That voicemail in the garage. Greg realizes he's been playing second fiddle for too long. Enough, he thinks, his jaw set, heart pounding. He doesn't yell or confront. He plans. Quietly, efficiently, like the engineer he is. The plan unfolds in secret. He reviews every contract, calculates refunds, even books that solo trip credit for himself. Lisbon calls to him, cobblestone streets, fresh seafood, Vinho Verde wine under the sun. Why Santorini with a couple when he can have Portugal alone? Execution day comes subtly. Cancellations confirmed, funds secured. He doesn't announce it. He lets the vendors break the news. The chaos that follows, that's the music to his ears. But hold on, we're ramping up to the climax. On the original wedding date. While Alex and Lauren are likely dealing with a scaled-down ceremony, or maybe even a postponement, Greg's on that balcony in Lisbon. The air is warm, scented with ocean salt and grilled sardines from the street below. He sips his wine, watches the Tagus River sparkle under the evening light. His phone buzzes incessantly, 47 missed calls, 31 texts. He glances at one from Alex. Dad, please call. Everything's falling apart. Greg smiles faintly, sets the phone down, and toasts to the view. It's better than the harbor they had booked, freer than any Isle walk could be. For the first time in 26 years, guilt doesn't weigh him down. He's chosen his peace. And it tastes like victory. The sun is dipping low over the Tagus River now, painting everything in that golden Lisbon glow that makes even the simplest moment feel cinematic. Greg leans back in his chair on the small balcony of his rented apartment in Alfama, the old quarter where the narrow streets twist like secrets and every corner smells faintly of grilled fish and fresh laundry hanging overhead. He's got a half-empty bottle of Vinho Verde sweating on the wrought iron table beside him, the kind that's crisp and slightly fizzy, perfect for cutting through the warm evening air. His phone sits face down next to the glass. It stopped buzzing about an hour ago, probably. Ran out of battery from all the notifications. It couldn't deliver. Back home, the original wedding day is unfolding in chaos he can picture without even trying. Alex and Lauren had scrambled for weeks after the cancellations hit. First came the venue. The harborside place with the panoramic windows and the outdoor terrace? Gone. They tried to rebook the same spot, but another couple had already snapped it up, so they settled for a mid-tier ballroom at a chain hotel 30 minutes outside the city, fluorescent lighting, beige carpet, the kind of place that hosts corporate seminars and quinceañeras. No string quartet. A Spotify playlist on somebody's phone hooked to a Bluetooth speaker. The open bar became a cash bar after the first 2 hours because the budget couldn't stretch. Lauren's dress still fit beautifully, but the alterations Greg had paid for were the last luxury item left standing. Her father walked her down the aisle, slow, proud, chest puffed out like he'd earned every step. Alex stood at the front in the same tuxedo Greg had helped pick out 6 months earlier, the one with the subtle navy piping. When the officiant asked who gives this woman, Lauren's dad answered, with a booming, her mother and I, and the small crowd clapped politely. Alex glanced toward the empty space on his side where Greg should have been. The photographer captured that glance. Later, when the pictures came back, that single frame would become the quiet centerpiece of the whole day. The groom looking for a father who wasn't there. Greg didn't know any of those details yet, of course. He wasn't checking social media. He wasn't refreshing the family group chat. He was simply existing in a city that didn't know his name, sipping wine that tasted like freedom. Let's rewind a little, though, to the weeks right after the cancellations. Because the revenge wasn't just the money, it was the silence. Greg didn't send a single explanatory text. No angry paragraph. No, you brought this on yourselves. He simply vanished from their financial orbit and let the consequences speak. Sarah tried calling first. She left a voicemail that started measured and ended in full fury. Greg, this is childish. You're hurting your own son to spite the rest of us. Pick up the damn phone. He listened once, then archived it. Lauren's mother sent a long, melodramatic email copied to half the family, calling him heartless and petty, saying he'd ruined what should have been the happiest day of Alex's life. Greg read the first 3 lines, then moved it to trash. Alex's messages were the hardest to ignore at first. The voice notes started desperate. Dad, please, we can figure this out. Just tell me what happened. Then they turned angry. You're seriously doing this? Over one conversation? Grow up. By the 10th message, the tone had shifted to something colder. Almost resigned. Fine. If this is how you want it, then we don't need you. That one stung the most, not because it hurt Greg's feelings anymore, but because it confirmed exactly what he'd suspected for years. They really had replaced him long before that Thursday phone call. So he kept moving forward. He booked the Lisbon trip on the converted honeymoon credit. Same dates, different destination. Instead of white Greek villas and infinity pools, he chose a modest but charming 2-bedroom place with exposed brick walls, wooden beams, and a balcony that overlooked the river and the 25 de Abril Bridge in the distance. He packed light, 1 suitcase, mostly linen shirts and comfortable walking shoes. No itinerary, no must-see list, just space to breathe. The first few days were strange. He woke up without an alarm, made coffee in a kitchen that wasn't his, walked down to the local pastelaria for a custard tart still warm from the oven. He sat by the water and watched the seagulls wheel overhead. At night, he wandered the hilly streets, following the sound of fado music spilling out of tiny bars. Nobody asked him why he was alone. Nobody pitied him. For once, He wasn't anyone's dad, anyone's ex-husband, anyone's backup plan. He was just a man drinking wine and letting the city carry him. Back in the States, the wedding photos started appearing online. Lauren posted a carousel on Instagram, carefully curated. Filters heavy, captions full of gratitude emojis. Best day ever surrounded by the people who matter most. The comments rolled in. You looked stunning. So happy for you too. A few close friends left subtle question marks about the noticeably smaller crowd and the hotel backdrop. But most people just liked and scrolled past. Alex didn't post anything for 3 days. When he finally did, it was a single photo of him and Lauren on the dance floor, mid-laugh. Caption: "We made it work. Love wins." Greg saw it because an old college buddy forwarded the link in a private message. "Hey man, saw this. You okay?" Greg typed back, "All good here. Enjoying Portugal actually." Sent a photo of his wine glass against the sunset. And left it at that. The real catharsis came on the actual wedding date, around 2 a.m. their time. Greg was still awake. Jet lag and vinho verde are a powerful combination. He finally flipped his phone over. 47 missed calls. 31 unread texts. A screenshot of the group chat showed Lauren's mother typing in all caps. "He's not even answering now. This is unacceptable." Sarah had sent a photo of Alex, sitting alone at the head table, after the toasts, staring at his phone. One-word caption underneath: "Look what you did." Greg scrolled slowly, feeling nothing. Not anger, not guilt, just a quiet, steady calm. He opened the camera, aimed it at the city lights twinkling below, and took one photo. No caption. He sent it to the family group chat, the first message he'd sent since the cancellations. Then he turned the phone off completely. He didn't need their apologies. He didn't need their explanations. He didn't even need them to understand. They had chosen the father they wanted. He chose the life he wanted. And as the first hints of dawn started creeping over the horizon, Greg poured the last of the vinho verde, raised the glass to no one in particular, and whispered to the empty balcony, to better views. The story doesn't end there, though, because revenge, like this, has a long tail. The long tail of revenge isn't loud explosions or courtroom drama. It's quieter, slower. It lives in the small silences that stretch longer. Each month, in the birthdays that pass without a call, in the holiday photos that no longer include your face. Greg stayed in Lisbon for 10 more days after the wedding date. He didn't rush back. Why would he? The apartment lease was cheap, the weather stayed kind, and the city had a way of making time feel optional. He walked the aqueduct at golden hour, stood under the orange trees in the Miraduros, until the wind carried the scent of blooming jasmine across his skin, ate too many pastillas de nata, and told himself it didn't matter. He started keeping a small notebook, not for revenge plans anymore, but for simple things: the color of the sky at dusk, the way an old man played guitar on the tram steps, the taste of ginginia straight from a tiny plastic cup. When he finally flew home, the house felt different. Not emptier, exactly, just his. No wedding binders on the kitchen table. No vendor emails pinging his inbox. No group chat notifications lighting up his phone at odd hours. He deleted the family thread entirely. Not out of anger, just because it no longer served any purpose. The first real ripple came about 3 months later. Alex reached out, not through voice message this time, but a plain text. "Hey Dad, can we talk? Not about the money or the wedding. Just talk." Greg stared at the message for a long time. The cursor blinked. He typed, deleted, typed again. Eventually, he sent 3 words. "I'm listening." They met at a coffee shop halfway between their houses. Neutral ground. Alex arrived first, already seated, 2 black coffees on the table. He looked thinner, tired around the eyes. The confidence that used to radiate from him, the easy smile, the quick laugh, had dimmed. Greg sat down across from him without hugging. No preamble. Alex started slow. "I didn't realize how much you were doing. Not just the money. All of it. The calls, the planning, showing up even when I didn't ask. I took it for granted." Greg sipped his coffee, said nothing. "I was trying to keep everyone happy," Alex continued. "Lauren's family wanted things a certain way. Mom and Mark kept saying it would be easier if her dad walked me down. I thought you'd understand. That it wouldn't matter that much." Greg looked at his son, really looked. The boy who used to run to him after Little League games with dirt on his knees and a gap-toothed grin was gone. In his place sat a man who had learned, the hard way, that choices have weight. It mattered, Greg said quietly. More than you knew. Silence stretched between them. Not hostile, just honest. Alex rubbed the back of his neck. We're paying people back slowly. Lauren's parents covered some, but it's tight. We had to postpone the Santorini trip. Probably forever now. Greg nodded once. I converted the deposit. Used it for Lisbon. Alex gave a small, surprised laugh. Not bitter, almost admiring. Yeah, I saw the photo you sent. Looked nice. It was. Another pause. I'm not asking you to fix anything, Alex said. I miss you. And I'm sorry. Greg let the words settle. He didn't rush to forgive. Forgiveness isn't a switch. It's a door that sometimes needs time to swing open on its own. But he didn't slam it either. I appreciate the sorry, he said finally. We'll see where it goes. They didn't hug when they left. They didn't promise weekly calls or Sunday dinners. But Alex texted the next week, just a photo of his new coffee maker with the caption, "Finally got one that doesn't suck." Greg replied with a thumbs-up emoji. Small. Simple. Hey. Thread reconnected, thin but real. Months turned into a year. Greg kept the high-yield account. The money grew quietly. He started traveling more, short trips at first, a weekend in Montreal, a week in Oaxaca. He bought better camera gear, learned how to edit little travel vlogs for himself, never posted them anywhere. They were just proof that he existed outside the role of dad who pays. Sarah reached out once, around the one-year mark. A short call. No accusations this time. Alex told me you two are talking again. Slowly. Yeah. A beat. I was wrong about a lot of things back then. Greg didn't agree or disagree. He just said, we all were. And that was enough. Lauren's family never apologized. They didn't have to. Greg didn't need it. The revenge had never really been about them anyway. The deepest satisfaction came on an ordinary Tuesday evening. Almost 18 months after that Thursday phone call. Greg was in his garage, not the dark one this time, but with the door open, sunlight slanting across the concrete. He was tinkering with an old motorcycle he'd bought on a whim. Something to ride on quiet back roads when the mood struck. His phone buzzed. A text from Alex. Got promoted today. First thing I thought was I should call you. So hi. And thanks. For everything before, and for letting me earn it back now. Greg wiped his hands on a rag, smiled, small, private, real, and typed back. Proud of you, kid. Beers this weekend. The reply came fast. Yeah, I'll bring the good ones. Greg set the phone down, looked at the bike gleaming under the garage light, and felt something shift inside his chest. Not the sharp sting of betrayal anymore. Not even the cool rush of payback. Just peace. The kind you earn by choosing yourself first. Then opening the door again, on your terms. He picked up a wrench, went back to work, humming something that sounded vaguely like Fado. And somewhere across town, a young man sat in his apartment, staring at his phone with a small, relieved smile. Finally understanding what it really means to be a father's son. Not the money, not the walk down the aisle, not even the apologies. It's showing up, even after everything, and still being welcomed home. That's the ending no one sees coming. And it's the sweetest part of all. If that didn't give you chills, and a little hope mixed with the justice, I don't know what will. Stories like Greg's remind us that sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's quietly building a life so full and free that the people who hurt you eventually realize what they lost. What do you think? Would you have handled it the same way? Or would you have gone louder, harder? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own family drama turned triumph if you've got one. Smash that like button if Greg's balcony moment hit different. And subscribe if you want more real Reddit revenge that actually makes you feel something. We've got plenty more coming. Until next time, choose yourself. You deserve it.